Hey guys, this is Dustin and Devin, Skidoojunky, back for another episode of Vintage Skidoo Spotlight. Today we're going to jump back on Devin's 92 Mach 1. It's been about 5 weeks since we've done anything to it. A lot of stuff's happened, some good, some not so good. So it was about 5 weeks ago or so, we set out to make a video of, getting the engine dropped in, getting the exhaust on, finishing plumbing up the fuel system, burping the coolant, and making it run. We did all of that except for make it run. So got everything done, and it tried to hit on the first pull and just didn't want to start. So we finally got it running, and it ran fine in the mid-range all the way through the upper end, but it wouldn't idle. So I've got myself convinced it's one of two things. It's either rotary valve timing, which I'm thinking that's what it is, or ignition timing. I did have the stator plate off as well, but I'm pretty diligent about marking those stator plates and lining them back up when they go back on. Matter of fact, I doubt that's it. So today we're going to do that. And then, we got a lot of stuff going on, like I said. So it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago when Devin had his, it was actually 3 or 4 weeks ago when Devin had his state tournament. He was released for wrestling after knee surgery about a week before his regional. Won his regional, placed in his sectional, qualified for state. Devin, how'd the state tournament go?
Went all right. Ended up taking 4th in state as a freshman, lost in the semifinals to the number 2 kid in the state, and lost my third and 4th place match to a senior. So
yeah, it was a good tournament. I know he wasn't satisfied with the outcome, but he'll be back next year, bigger and better than ever. And then Devin's also got a big event coming up here in a few weeks. Right now he's working and training to go out to Las Vegas. He and I will go out there on April the 22nd. For him to compete in the U.S. Open. So Devin, how does the U.S. Open work in the U15 division?
So the U.S. Open is a freestyle and Greco event, and for the top overall placers of freestyle and Greco, you are on the United States national team, and you end up going to, this year is held in Guatemala City, Guatemala, and you'll be on the USA team to wrestle in the Pan American Championships.
Cool, sounds fun. Well, we're wishing Devin good luck out there, and hopefully he can pull off a win and qualify for that Pan American team. But one of the other things we did after the state tournament was it was time for a reset after everything that he's been through and just kind of a long year. And if I didn't go riding, I would have a 2024 competition 850 with 0 miles on it that was 2 years old. So we took off and got an invite from a fellow Skidoo collector, Brad Wheelock, to go up to Toivola, Michigan, stay with them at Krupp's Resort. Amazing place, perfect location. They had oodles and gobs of snow. Also got to reconnect with a good friend of mine, David McNeil, fellow Skidoo collector. He rode with us for a day or so. We had a great time and put on 400 or 500 miles. And Devin actually rode my competition 850 most of the time. I rode his 1200. God, I love those 1200s. I truly believe that if it wouldn't been for Rotax or Skidoo having to pay a royalty to Petronas for every one of those engines they build, it'd still be an option for us in a platform. I mean, they run good, they sound good, they're smooth, good fuel economy, and they last forever. But had a good time. I'm going to post some videos and some footage of our trip in on this video too, kind of add it in so you guys can see that we are human and we do actually ride snowmobiles from time to time, not just work on them and clean them and admire them. But before we get to the video today, I always want to give a shout out to a handful of people and products that I believe in. So one of the things that happened here in the last week or so is Devin is actively involved in the FFA, and they did a charity auctioned off this welding table. It's made by Storlock. They're based out of Kankakee, Illinois. They just do all kinds of tables like this. They also design modular workspaces and cabinets, workbenches, anything you can imagine. They've got a great website where you can configure your own stuff online. Great product. I'm looking forward to using it. Before I was always using a plastic folding table to work on my engines. And if you're sitting on a bench, the bench is too low. If you're standing up, the table is too low. So there was no perfect way to do it. This kind of keeps everything up where you need to be, standard working height. Looking forward to using it. Then one of the other things, so if you're a power stroke guy, and I am, or even anybody that's got a diesel engine that's a wet sleeve block, if I'm changing coolant, I'm using one type of coolant. Same goes with the sleds. Devin, if you can hand me that. So I'm a firm believer in the CAT ELC coolant. It's great against protected against electrolysis. It's got a longer life than most any other coolant on the market. Reasonably priced. It's my go-to for everything. That's what I use. You know, there's nothing better than a good oil or coolant debate. I mean, those pages online go for days. But this stuff works really well. I use it in everything. You can buy it at your cat dealer or Amazon, like I said. Then the other thing, so you can see this, this bench here has got a bare metal finish. I like to keep it that way, keep it clean, keep it protected. This is a gun owner's oldest trick in the book, Gibbs brand lubricant. So the trick is on a gun stock, you spray it on a microfiber or a lint-free cloth, and you just rub it in the stock. Helps protect the stock from, or the barrel, I'm sorry, from any type of corrosion. And I use it on the table here as well. You can pick this up at any major hardware store or online as well. I think I got this from Amazon myself, but Gibbs brand lubricant works great. So I know a lot of you guys are now vapor honing your crankcases and cylinders when you're putting an engine back together during a sled restoration. This works awesome as well for protecting that and keeping that new clean aluminum finish. I like to use it, works well. Shout out to Gibbs brand lubricant. So any of you PRS chassis guys that are going through these sleds, freshen them up or doing a full restoration, you know every time you dig into it, the front suspension boots are gonna be junk, right? Well, my homie, Craig Marchbank, has made life a lot easier for us. Several years ago, Craig went through the painstaking process of having the mold designed to reproduce the front suspension boots for your PRS chassis sleds. He was very critical of the compound that they use, so it'd be oil and gas resistant. These things hold up well. I feel like I should own stock in them by now, as many of them as I bought off Craig. He sells them on his eBay store. You can also find them, get them from him as well. His information's readily available online. I'm not giving out his phone number on this YouTube video, but you can find it out there. I think Craig's eBay username is BamBam00 if you're looking for him. They're about 200 bucks a pair. You're not going to find them anywhere else. If you do, they're new old stock and they'll be just as dry rotted as the ones you got on your sled. So shout out to Craig for going through all the process of doing that. I know he sold a bunch of them. One of the other things that Craig has offered is, any you guys, once again, that have had a PRS chassis sled and you're greasing your spindles, you know that grease gets everywhere and it has a negative effect on the rubber on these ski boots. They'll stretch, they'll dry rot, they'll deform, they look like crap. If you're going through all the time, labor, and expense of redoing a sled, you want it to pop, I recommend these as well. I actually haven't seen these on Craig's store in a while. He may be out of them. Fortunately, I stocked up. I should be good for the next couple years on restoration products, but you know, guys like him that go the extra mile to make it easy for us, hats off to you. So once again, thanks for coming out today. Hopefully we get this thing running. You guys are going to get to watch whether it happens or not. It may or may not. Hopefully it is something as simple as rotary valve, but once again, thanks for coming out and hope to see you soon.
tell you that was tough. I don't feel so bad.
That's a ski jump right out of the distance out to that hill.
You see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
No, it wouldn't really feel like you even live in this country if you lived up here, I don't think. Rockway Mountain.
Brockway,
Brock.
Brock.
B-R-O-C-K.
High up.
High country is even.
Yeah, this says the elevation.
Rockaway Mountain, just outside of Copper Harbor,
The
Michigan.
highest point in Upper Michigan is actually kind of over by Marquette. Okay.
It's the highest point in the state of Michigan. Hi, guys. Devin, say hi.
What's up?
Having fun?
Oh yeah.
Undisclosed location, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Early March, Devin Ealer, 2024 Skidoo Competition 850 Wide Open Pass. Given the conditions, I'd say that was 110 to 115 mile an hour pass. Sled still in break-in mode. Temperatures 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Undisclosed location, Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Early March, Devin Ealer. Launch control start. Okay, guys, well, that was fun. Not. Took the rotary valve cover off, checked the timing. You know, you're allowed a 5-degree variance from spec. This thing was right there. It was close. I was able to get it a little bit closer, so we had that. And then it didn't run quite right, so we went through the carburetors again. Air fuel screws were a little bit gunked up. There was a little bit of sediment in the bowl. You know, the whole entire fuel system was brand new. We flushed the tank. You're still going to get a little something coming through there. So we cleaned it again. The other thing we noticed was that the primer was leaking by. You know, I tried to revive the original primer with the oil trick, which it would prime fuel, but it was letting air go by, in turn allowing fuel to go by, give it a little bit of a rich condition. So we put a brand new primer on it. And then also, when I put gas in it, I'd used the last of my 91 no ethanol stash. I questioned maybe the fuel source there. So we drained the fuel out, put some new that we just pumped the other day in there. Seems to be running a lot better now. Won't know until we get it back in cold weather. So at this point, we're going to keep moving forward. It runs at idles. Everything seems okay. It's 70 degrees in the shop here today, so obviously it's going to be pig rich. Not really going to learn anything, and I can't load the motor because we've got the suspension out from underneath it. So at this point, we're just running it without a belt, which is not ideal. So the other thing we did was we went ahead and put the Craig Marchbank reproduction PRS chassis suspension boots in. And you know, this is a very highly debated topic, whether you got an innie or an outie. So, you know, to be politically correct, I did one way and one the other way. That way, if you don't like the way it looks on one side of the sled, you can walk around to the other side and see it that way. But anyways, that's about it. Probably not going to do a whole lot on this sled until we get the rear suspension powder coated and put back in, so it's going to be a while. The other thing we got cooking is a little bit of a bittersweet deal that's coming up here in the next few months. You know, as you guys know, about 40 or so sleds in here are not mine. They are Jimmy John's, and he's been working all winter to build his museum at his place in Northwest Wisconsin, and they're getting close. So talked to him over the course of the weekend, and he had said that they're going to hopefully start moving some sleds out in May. You know, I'm going to miss the content because his stuff is over the top. I mean, just super nice, but I am going to value the room. So it'll be nice to have a little bit extra room to move around. And I've got, you know, 10 or 15, maybe 20 sleds of my own that I'd like to get moved in here too, and there's just not room right now. So the other thing he's asked Devin to do is, Jimmy's a fanatic about everything being perfect and flawless, so he doesn't want to take the risk of messing up his floors in his new building with some of the sleds that have got studs in them. So Devin's been summoned to remove all the studs out of those tracks. So he's got job security for a while, and he'll be working on that over the course of the summer in his limited free time. But thanks for coming out again today, guys, and hope to catch you soon.